What's up, guys? There is so much value in making money online. I can't tell you how important that is to be able to learn how to do in 2025, 2026, 2027, and every single year coming forward. Guys, you have to find a way to make money online. I don't care if this is your main job, your side gig, a YouTube project, just a whatever it might be, man. You have to develop skills that you can monetize online. You have to develop those skills and you have to learn how to sell those skills online, especially in a crowded marketplace to where everybody is doing whatever it is that you're probably thinking about doing. You know, how many YouTube channels are there out there? There's a million of them. How many, stock traders are there out there? There's a million of them. How many freaking, marketing agencies are there out there? There's a million of them. You guys have all seen it. I can't be the only one who's noticing all this. But that being said, you have to develop some kind of skill that you can monetize around the world. Even if you don't plan on moving around the world, you just have to develop some kind of skill set that you can use online that makes money. It doesn't have to be your main thing. It doesn't have to be really even a ton of money, but you have to develop some kind of skill set that is able to chip in some extra income so that you can eventually, if you get fired, because again, we live in the world of AI now to where AI could take literally any of our jobs at any given moment. That's probably going to happen, in the next handful of years. So it might be a good idea for you to develop a skill, one preferably that uses AI, that you can sell to businesses, that you can sell to people specifically, that you can sell to anybody, that you could sell online, freelancing, all this different kind of stuff. You guys have probably heard of all of it before. This isn't anything groundbreaking, but it's important that you develop a skill to be able to stay relevant in this marketplace, right? You have to develop skills. We hear it all the time, like skills pay the bills. That's real talk. And people who aren't skilled in this economy, and especially in the future economy of America, which is where I live, and all around the world, it's a skill-based economy. People want things done very well. They want things very, very quick, and they want good service while it's happening. I mean, look at Amazon. That's their entire business model. They sell things online that are usually pretty high quality and they deliver them to you extremely quick. That's how they got ahead. It's pretty simple stuff. You have to develop a skill set. You have to develop a skill of marketing, of sales, of communication, of networking, being able to meet other people who are successful to where you can, partner with them on creating a business or, partner with them on doing a YouTube channel, whatever it might be, man. You guys have all heard this stuff before, but I just want to emphasize how important it is to develop some kind of skill online that you can use in the future to make money. Because again, there's so much value in being able to work remote. I can't even tell you how much value there is in that. And honestly, the ideal situation would be to work some kind of job or build some kind of business that's online to where you can work anywhere and then go live somewhere that's super cheap. That's the cheat code right there, man. Live super, super cheap. Move in with your parents. Who gives a shit what people say? Move in, move to a really cheap country, move to Thailand, move to freaking the Philippines, move to the middle of nowhere in the Midwest, which is where I live. Um, you know, Move somewhere super cheap, live super cheap, don't spend money, and then make as much money as you possibly can via working online. That's how you get ahead, guys, in 2025. I don't care what anybody says. That is how you get ahead. You're not going to get ahead working more hours and doing overtime and having, you know, $3,000 a month, rent payments for your apartment. Ain't nobody getting ahead doing that, man. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to work yourself to death. You're going to be working until the moment you die, and you're not going to have anything to show for it. You need to live as cheap as possible, live as cheap as possible for as long as possible. If you have a family, get your wife, your kids, get them on board. If you're as a girl's, for the one or two women that might be listening to this, get your husband on board, your kids on board, downsize, live cheap like you're broke for a couple years, and then see what happens, man. I'm telling you, that's how you get ahead. If you're a single dude, which is most of the people that listen to this channel, I'm a single dude as well. You know, do what you have to do to minimize your expenses. And then the entire time you're doing that, you should probably be working a job as well. So you have some kind of stable income. I've made a video about this before, why there is value, contrary to what the internet and YouTube will tell you. there is a lot of value in having a job. I don't care what anybody says, man. Making consistent income while you work on your side hustle, that's valuable. Otherwise, you're going to be, spinning your wheels trying to figure it out all by yourself, and you're not going to be making any income. You don't want to be in that spot. That's how you get stuck. But work some kind of job and develop a skill that you can use online, whether you want to go get an online job, or build a business on the side, or start freelancing, or start doing, influencer marketing, create a YouTube channel, do advertising, marketing, all this different kind of stuff. I think I said marketing twice, but you get the idea. You can do anything online. Learn how to use AI for all this stuff, man. That's where the world's going. And become very, very good at it. Pay mentors, pay, for courses. Again, when I say this kind of stuff, guys, I'm not talking about just go buy some random dude's course online on how to make money. I'm talking about people who have actually done the things that they're saying they, can do. Right. So use some common sense here, and learn from people who have done whatever it is that you're trying to do. And make sure they've done it. Look for proof. Where's their business? Where's their address? Where's their headquarters? How many customers have they worked with, right? What do their testimonials say about them, right? You should be looking at all this different kind of stuff whenever you're thinking about getting a mentor, because that's essential, man. Again, another thing that we've heard a million times, you got to have a mentor, but you hear that all over the place because it's so true. If you don't have a mentor, you really are going to be screwed. And that doesn't have to be someone that you're paying or, having coach you or any of this kind of stuff, hold your hand. It can just be someone online that you listen to, that you follow along, someone whose podcast you like to gravitate towards. Find these people in life, because there's lots and lots and lots of successful people way more successful than me, people way more successful than all the people that I know. There's people out there that are doing this and that are teaching you and that are happily, guiding the way. And that's what you want to find. And if you can find some kind of way to get one-on-one interaction with these people, then I would highly suggest you do that. And then show up with a list of questions that are specific and not like basic questions. How do I get started? Like, you can figure that stuff out on YouTube, man. You have to be able to develop a skill set that you can make money online with. And whenever you're able to do that, that's where you can really, leverage this arbitrage opportunity of being able to live cheap and be able to not have to drive to work, take the train to work. All that stuff sucks, man. And major respect, by the way, to anyone who is doing that, because I get it, man. Life is hard. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm just talking about the ideal scenario on where you want to be. You want to be able to work from home if you can. You want to be able to, work while you're on vacation if you can. You have to be able to find a way to make money online. That's just all there is to it. This isn't anything groundbreaking. Again, this nobody's going to listen to this video and be like, "Oh my gosh, I never heard that before." It's just the reality. You know, you have to find a way to make money online. The world is going to AI, crypto, and online. That's what it is. That's the direction that the world is moving in. And you have to be able to stay valuable in the marketplace, stay valuable in the future marketplace. Ask yourself questions. Hey, what are people going to be doing in need of in 2026, 2029, 2035? Like, think ahead. And it's, again, with how fast the world is changing, it's tough to do that. But ask yourself those questions. Ask ChatGPT those questions. What are some businesses that are going to be in high demand with, crypto becoming a much bigger thing and AI becoming a much bigger thing? What are services that I can start with, very little money to be able to help those businesses that are doing AI? And how can you make those types of, those technologies more efficient? Those are the questions you should be asking, because that's where the world's going. And if you can position yourself as someone who is proficient at whatever it might be, let's just say it's, you know, maintaining AI and making sure that that's governed correctly. Because like AI governance, that's one of the big things that people talk about nowadays, and like making sure that AI doesn't just go crazy and go off the rails like the Terminator. We don't want some kind of Skynet situation. So in this example, if you could become the go-to AI governance guy for XYZ, that business is probably going to be in high demand in the next, 5, 10 years. It's going to continue to be in high demand because AI is not getting any smaller, guys. You already know this, but that's what I would be doing. I would be looking at things I can do online to generate money and to make myself valuable in the marketplace that are in high demand and will continue to be in high demand. And then I would look at where the world's going. You know, that's what I would do. And you have to find a way to build your skill set. And again, you can do all this online. You don't have to. I'd say pay mentors and read books and all this different kind of stuff, but you don't have to do any of that. You could just watch YouTube videos, honestly. Chat GPT and YouTube. That's all you need, and then maybe hire somebody who has a little bit of experience to where you can ask them specific questions that you might not be able to get for free. That's what I've always done. But yeah, man, I would highly recommend that everybody listening to this, especially if you're a young dude in your 20s, but if you're anyone who's listening to this, figure out a way to make money online, develop your skill set, go all in on that skill set and become, a real expert in that. And if you can do that, man, you're going to be in high demand for a very long time. And that's what you want to do. That's where you want to be. So let me know if this helps you guys out. I would highly recommend you do this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear it. All right. Peace.